Again, I want to thank everyone for coming out, and it's a super unfortunate time. Dalton was a good young guy. He's a good friend. He was a good friend to a lot of us. For those of you that don't know, my name is Mike Stewart. It's an honor to be up here. I don't know how I got selected to be the spokesperson for this, but it's an honor to be the spokesperson. Dalton was a good friend. He joined our shooting team, Riverton Shooting Club, back when he was probably in about 8th grade. He didn't have any idea how to shoot a shotgun at the time. He shot with us for a few years before he moved out to Roosevelt. When he went to Roosevelt, he joined Skyline X's team that practices here at the Spanish Fort Gun Club. At that time, he continued shooting the youth shooting sports. If you spend any time in Utah shooting, whether it's in the youth shooting programs, the AIM program, the SCTP, the USAS, the UTS, the USTA, the ATA, or the local turkey shoots, I'm sure you've come across Dalton Vann. He was he was at most of them, and I'm sure everyone's had the same experience with him as we have. You know, he had a pretty contagious smile. He had a good sense of humor. He was a good shooter. He had a lot of things that we look at people as they grow up. So I'm sure everyone had the same experience as we did. Again, like most other years, Dalton's won many awards. This year he was a USDA state team junior captain for the state team. He's been on the state team the last handful of years. This year he was a captain. He won the National High School Rodeo Association National Tournament this year as a champion shooter. Along the way, he's also competed in many welding competitions. I know a lot of people here aren't aware of that, but he won a lot of national welding competitions. He was on his way to become a welding engineer. He was just offered a full ride scholarship with welding, and he was on his way to do that before this took place. It's pretty neat to see all these young guys come out here, and you know, we watched a lot of these guys grow up as they enter the youth shooting programs. I know my son started shooting with him when he was about 8 years old. Dalton was about 12. I see a lot of the people that are here that shot with him as well. They've continued to grow up together. They competed together. They had some good times and some bad times together. But it's neat to see everyone come together. This shooting sports it's kind of amazing how tight the family really is, and how close the friendships are. And even though people live in all different parts of the country and all different parts of the state, it seems like these shooting events bring everyone together, and that's what keeps us involved in it. I know that's what kept Dalton involved in it, and it's really neat to see everyone come from all over. We've got people from here, from all different states that have traveled down here to support this year with Dalton. And like every shooter, you have a squad of people that you shoot with, and you try to squad with them, and every shoot you go to. Dalton was no different. He had his favorites, and he had his family of friends that he shot with every time, and no different than everybody else. We're fortunate here to have the same group come down, with the exception of one shooter, and I'm going to introduce those guys in a second. But these guys shot together. They made friends together at the Vernal Rod and Gun Club. Sean and Stacy was out there. They've always hosted the Western Grand, and these guys made friends out there. They made sure they shot together out there every year, and it's almost like a reunion when they got together. So it's fortunate to have them travel down here, and like I say, I'll introduce those guys in a second. I'd like to bring a couple people down here and have them say a little something. We have a few people that have come up and wanted to do a little talk. We got one guy here that traveled in from California. His name's Hunter Seymour. He's been up here a little bit throughout the years. And where's Hunter at? Let's have him come up and say a little something, a little memory of Dalton. So, and then afterwards we'll have Stacy Hawley come up and do a little talk.
Awesome, thank you. I met Dalton 3 years ago at Vernal when I showed up, knew nobody, and you know, this kid comes smiling up to me and he goes, "Never seen you before, let's hang out." And I was like, "All right, cool." And he showed me around Vernal and hung out all week. I got to watch him win $500 at a pot shoot, and it was the coolest thing in the world. He was one of the coolest guys, and I'm honored I had the pleasure to meet him and know him, and you know, I wish I knew him as well as these guys did, because he was a hell of a guy from what I've heard, and it's too bad he's gone. So, to Dalton.
Thanks, Hunter. Is Stacy around?
Okay. Dalton is an amazing young man that I feel honored that I got to know him, that his family brought him out to Vernal. Loved coming out and shooting the Annies, the meat shoots. I can remember him being so thrilled to win a turkey or whatever. He even showed up for his birthday and brought some of his friends from Union High School. And we gave him a big old, we call it the candy dish, but it's basically a bowl full of holes that everyone has left behind from other shoots. So those guys had a pretty great afternoon. And I know, like, for me, the thing I will always, it's imprinted just on me, is his smile. That young man had an amazing smile, and he always made every person that I was ever around feel great. And I know that all of you are going to miss him as much as we are, and he really was great at everything I ever saw him do. Welding, shooting, just all around great young man. But the thing that really, I guess, made us realize what a great young man he was my daughter was set to go to prom. She had her dress, her flower, everything ready to go, and her date dumped on her at the last minute. And Dalton drove over to Vernal and took Sam to dinner. And it's just something like that you don't always see in young people. And that's the Dalton that I'm always going to remember. So thank you.
Thanks, Stacy. So Dalton was a squad leader. He was always on post one. The last handicap squad they shot together with was at the Vernal Rod and Gun Club. And it was a handicap championship of the Western Grand last year. And that was the last time they got together. And it was Dalton Van on post one. Hunter Howe from Torrington, Wyoming was on post two. Start heading your way out there, Hunter, out here to the practice trap. James Schuler was from Barstow, California. James was unable to make it up here because of a work commitment. And unfortunately, he was unable to come up here. In place of him shooting is going to be his best friend and his roommate in college, and that's Jordan Pierce. Jordan Pierce has also been on our youth shooting programs for a while. Jordan, why don't you go up there to post three and fill in for James Schuler, if you will. The post four is Grayson Stewart from Riverton City here, and he's on post four. And then post five is Casey Evans. Casey Evans on post five. He's from Twin Falls, Idaho. side here, we got Mackie, his little brother. We got Bill Van, his dad, and then his best friend Jordan Pierce out here shooting. While they're getting ready to start, we got some flower arrangements up here. We've got his gun that he shot all the time in competition. We also have his National Rodeo Association gun that he won this past year. So he's got a gun he's won and then one he shoots.